Howdy, yeah. Today is April 3rd. I was busy with music stuff all day, so didn't really get to do too much on the farm. It's kind of a late day, so it's about 8 o'clock, and I'm almost done with chores at this point. I knew it was going to be a long day, so over the past few days I've been kind of prepping the animals and doing chores a little later every day, just to make sure that they'd be all right through. So I just got to get some more food and water to a couple coops, and then we're good. The next few days are actually gonna be kind of chilly, but then it looks like we have a good warm up and everything's in the 70s. So hopefully the garden will do all right. Tonight and tomorrow night will be in the 40s. But after that, I see a lot of 70s and the lows don't dip too low. Still a lot of work left to do in the garden. I did get yesterday some gourds planted, some loofah specifically. So that felt good. I had some that I had started up in the grow room, and then I also planted a bunch of seeds. So glad to have that done. All the tomatoes done. Still a lot more to plant though. Check these mouse traps real quick, see if I need to reset any. That's good, that's good. That one's good. Yeah, still some peanut butter on there. These tomatoes look really nice in here. Those are all my mom's. She's the tomato lady. She does way more on the bulk on the tomatoes than I do. I only planted 42, 43. She's got several hundred planned. That trap looks good. And I'll have to reset that one. Got one. And that one over there is fine. So looks like things are pretty good in here. I still have a couple empty pots from the mice where they chewed some things up and ate them, but I'm not seeing a lot of new holes. Definitely the mouse traps are helping. Traps are reset. Now I do want to check upstairs, see if we caught any mice and see if anything needs watered. Howdy, yeah. Today is May 5th. It looks like my beetles all decided to die on the same night, so I still have a few that are kicking, but it looks like they're pretty much done. So just waiting for all this batch to turn. I do have quite a few beetles in here, and then some that are just starting to turn and they're still kind of white. They're very tiny since they decided to start turning a little earlier, but I'm gonna let all these grow up and turn into beetles, and we'll start getting some more batches going. I'm gonna wait a little longer and shake them out on the 29th. Hopefully there'll be some eggs in there. There's still gonna be a whole smattering of every life stage in there, I'd imagine, so I'll kind of sort that out when we get there. But my tiniest batch is at least visible now. I have all the other batches used for food, just that one's gonna turn into beetles. All the plants up here look good, still not catching any mice, so I don't know, we haven't seen any more things getting torn up in the room. I'll check the coop. We're catching about a mouse a day out there. I'm gonna see if there's any more things that need to get planted, and then I'll start probably working on beans next. I did catch a mouse, same corner that I've been catching them. That's really the only little mouse hole I've seen in here, so the way I have it set, even if they're not looking for food, they're gonna get hit. So in here, what I want to do is organize the plants, make sure I don't have any loofah in here, because I've got all those planted at this point. If I have any in here, plant them real quick, and then we will start working on planting some other things. I also want to do an inventory on my peppers. I planted 16 cayennes and not one came up, so I just kind of want to figure out how much row space with the bell peppers that I had come up and survive all the mice and frogs and whatever else was killing them. So that way I know how many to buy. In the garden now, I have currently 60 feet of loofah planted. I would say a good 40 feet are seed, and then the last few feet are starts. The starts have been in the ground for a little while, but I did find some in the chicken coop. So I filled it out to 60. I only was planning on having 60 feet. I have 4 more here and then 2 more that have not sprouted upstairs in the grow room. And they may not sprout because there's no seed in there. I have not checked. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant some sugar snap peas next, because I was planning on 20 feet of them. So that's what these last 2 panels are. I have 10-foot sections here just to make it easy to count. And then I'll see how many other seeds I have to fill out the row. Those weren't doing so hot, so I might have more room to move the loofah down. We'll see. If not, I'll just put some in between the others. 20 feet of sugar snap is planted. I planted them pretty thick, so I probably planted, I don't know, 75. And then in here on my loofah, I have the 2 upstairs. The ones that I had extra, I went ahead and planted some in between because I doubt every single seed's gonna come up. And if I smash it down to 9-inch spacing, it's not really that big of a deal. So I popped those in there and those are good to go. For the last 30 feet, I'm going to be planting cucuzzi. It's kind of like a zucchini, so we'll give it a shot this year. Looks interesting. I've heard some really good things about it. I have some friends that have grown it before and really like it, so I'm interested to grow it and see what happens. But they do not like being planted early, so a lot of them were dying. This one's on the verge of dying. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it to come back, so these are definitely better just planted straight in the ground. I really only had one that did good, and I had a ton of them just die. I generally like overwatering things, and these things are kind of fickle on water. All right, y'all, 2 rows of the garden are in. All the tomatoes are in, and then I also have some loofah, sugar snap peas, and cucuzzi. So that's a really good feeling to have done. Today I also did order some mulch instead of having that one guy bring it just by the pickup truckload. So that will be here Wednesday. Definitely need to order some more weed cloth so I can start putting that down, because on these paths I want to put weed cloth down and then the mulch. I'm really glad we're finally getting some sun. It's been kind of rainy and cloudy for several days in a row, and those little solar panels on the coops that operate the doors, little red lights came on both of them saying the battery was getting low, so this was good, just in time. I see the bees bringing in some nice pollen. I'm gonna go ahead and crack it open and see how they're doing. So the very first thing I did was take this queen excluder off. These little slits here are just big enough that the worker bees can fit through, but the queen can't. So the reason I put that on there is just to make sure the queen actually got settled into that new box and didn't just take right off the instant that that swarm got in there. So I'm not worried about it at this point. I don't like leaving these things on, so that's gone. I have not actually looked in the hive yet to see if I see any eggs, so that'll be up next. They look really good in there. I see a lot of bees, which is nice. They're all active. They started building some comb out, some kind of crazy comb in there. But I saw some eggs. Didn't really look for the queen. I only pulled one frame out, popped it right back. So they're doing good. There's something kind of interesting here. Why there's a bunch of pollen down there, I have no idea. I find that a little odd. So maybe if there's a more seasoned beekeeper, are they cleaning out old pollen that they didn't like? What is going on with that? I don't know. But other than that, it is a nice full hive and they're busy bees. I really need to get these chicks out of here in the next couple days. One, because they're getting a little bigger, a little crowded, but also this is just the little wagon insert and I could be jumping out of this anytime. So I'm gonna move some plants out tomorrow and clean out a coop for them and throw them in. Howdy, yeah, today is May 6th. It's pretty breezy outside today, but it's 70 degrees and sunny, so it feels great, but not great for recording. So earlier this morning, I ran and grabbed the bacon. So now I have all the pork, so that is a great feeling to have. I'm still working out some prices. Honestly, I haven't had a lot of time to think about it. But then, yeah, if y'all want bacon, it's in. Right now I'm working on the garden. I have another row tilled up. I'm gonna get the peppers in and just see how far I can get today. Howdy, y'all. Today is May 7th. It is currently 9:30, so anywhere between 9:30 and 1:30 today, I'm gonna have some mulch delivered for the garden. So I'm just gonna kind of hang out and wait for that. But in the meantime, it's definitely way too early to do chores. I'm gonna do a lot of planting in the garden, get a whole second row in. Yesterday I got all the peppers that I planted in, I bought 9 more just to kind of fill it out. I originally wanted 60 feet of peppers, but I just didn't have good luck with them coming up. I didn't have one cayenne pepper come up, which was a bummer, so I didn't find any cayennes in the store. If I find some, I'll plant some, but not the end of the world. So I'm gonna plant 9 more of those and then get a bunch more seeds in today. Peppers are in. I do still have a little bit of room for something else. What? I don't know at the moment, but my mom has 1,000,001 peppers upstairs, so I don't want to duplicate too terribly much. I did primarily bell peppers and then a couple banana peppers, and that's really about it. I'm trying to get all the colors on the bells this year. I have red and yellow that I grew. I bought orange and then bought 3 of the bananas. So I'll probably get something spicy down here. I don't know what just yet though. Still no mulch yet, but I did get about 200 feet of popcorn planted, so that's a good feeling. I used this new little gadget here. I didn't really talk about it too much last time, but it works. It gets it in the ground. It's not the easiest. If you have finer soil, it would work a lot easier, but I mean, it beats hand planting. I still don't have any corn coming up on the north edge of the property yet. Can't remember when I planted that, but I feel like it's been at least a week, and it's had some good rain on it, but not seen anything. So I don't know if an issue was with this and it didn't plant them deep enough, or I don't know. It's kind of flimsy, but it works. This kickstand here on the front is worthless, so I just lay it on the ground. Also, this is a row marker. So when you're going, you swing this little arm out and you can adjust this to whatever you want your row spacing to be. So while you're running one row, it'll mark the other one once again. Unless you have extremely fine soil, that is also useless. And then, I mean, this works pretty good. You just put your seed in here and it scoops them up and then flips them out. It goes down through this thing. You can set the depth. Honestly, since I don't have that super fine soil, I just set it on the deepest anyway. And you just have to push down really hard. They need a tall person version so you're not hunched over it. But other than that, I mean, it works and it beats hand planting. Poor guy is struggling a little bit. Looks like one of the pallets broke on him and wasn't able to get out underneath it, so it took him a little while. But I'm working on fixing my hose that I burnt a month or so ago, and I have it reaching to the far end of the garden now, so that's good. Now, even though I was able to put my green hose back together and make one hose, I didn't have enough to do the end, so I can't screw anything onto it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kink it with this and use it that way for now. And the delivery guy just left. Just that one pallet broke on him and made him take a little longer, but We are 6 pallets deep in mulch, so that's gonna be a lot of work coming up. I'm still waiting on some weed cloth before I put some of this down, but yeah, this is gonna be a lot of work, but it'll look really nice when it's done. I have maybe 4 or 5 chickens that like just not staying in the net and doing their own thing, which is fine, I don't mind. But I did just find one of their nests. It's a very random spot. It's kind of right out in the open over here. Where was it? There it is. Why? I don't know. But I'm sure I've got eggs somewhere on the farm, probably along that wood line, because they like hanging out over there. Who knows? I might have some chicks running around. Howdy, y'all. Today is May 8th. I'm gonna be back out in the garden planting. Got lots more stuff to plant. So just to the south, there's actually a little system. Can't see it because the wood's there, but here it's completely clear, sunny, and free of any rain that we're gonna get. I thought we would get something, but not today. So I'm gonna continue planting radishes. I got this one that I can't pronounce. Sounded interesting, so I planted 4 rows of that yesterday, so I'm gonna finish off the pack. Well, yeah, I just got a notification saying my weed cloth was canceled on my order, so it'll be a little while until I start spreading this mulch. If you're curious, it's 415 bags, so it's gonna take quite some time, but I definitely want to lay that weed cloth down first, that way I don't have anything coming up and the mulch stays nice for a while. It is getting chilly out. You got the breeze. It is not nice and sunny like it used to be. Everything I planted today is more of the cool weather crops. Right now the evenings are still pretty low, so I think they'll do all right. Getting them in a little bit late, but better late than never. Howdy, yeah, today is May 9th. I'm back out in the garden. I have 3 rows completely done. I got everything watered today. And on the tomatoes, I kind of snipped some bottom leaves that were hanging and touching the ground just to keep them healthy. Right now I'm working on the 4th row here, laying down all this weed cloth. My brother actually brought all these stones over, so that's kind of handy. I don't have to put 101 T-posts out here to help hold it down. So maybe a couple T-posts, but that's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So this row, I'll probably wind up doing cucumber in. I've got over 20 cucumbers in the ground. I may have some more starts. I didn't go through everything, so everything that is up I'm gonna go ahead and plant. It probably won't fill out this row, and that's okay. I'm not gonna do another planting until another month. That way, in case something happens to this first batch, I'll have some more coming up later. And when the sun hits just right, you can see all the little corn rows starting to come up. So that's pretty cool. I've got some very tiny ones. You can see they're just starting to come in. So that is exciting. And unfortunately, earlier today, I brought out some plants from the room. Not this one, but probably the one underneath it. And the chickens were all running around. Decided to come up there. Yeah, they didn't do too much damage. They might have smashed that one. Let's look at the next one. Yeah, they plucked that one, but I guess it wasn't too bad. But they were all out running around today and getting into everything. So I had to put a lot of them actually on top of the mulch stack out there. It worked pretty well. Chickens aren't getting up there, but not too bad. I thought it would have been a little worse.